Tuesday evening. It is live right here on the Mass Comedian Xcast. Your friend, Mass Comedian X, along with your host, Big Ace. How you doing, Big Ace?
What's up? How's it going?
Oh, everything's great. It's freezing cold up here in Minneapolis. Oh my God!
Hours south of you. So.
Well, I know you're an hour. You know, the people that are watching. You know, in Phoenix, they don't understand what cold is.
I don't get why the cold makes people drive like idiots too.
You know, if you lived up here, you'd know that people drive like idiots for any reason.
Yeah, that's
for any reason at all.
Yeah, it's but yeah, cold.
Oh, chihuahua. But anyway, yeah. So
we haven't gotten into like our winter yet. That's the sad part.
Well, that's right. You know, we're just getting into the shank of it. I believe December 21st is the official start of winter. We're still in the fall, baby.
Dude, it makes me so nervous too, because that cruise is pretty middle January.
Oh yeah, but you're gonna be in Florida and out towards the Bahamas, so just shut up and quit whining.
I'm worried though that like I'm not gonna get on the flight because we're gonna get snowed in here.
Don't worry, I'll be over there de-icing your plane.
Well, will you actually be de-icing, or will you still be in classes at this?
Yeah, I'll still be getting trained, but
this is also
no. I went and got my badge from the. Applied for my badge on Monday, which was a nice. Only took about 4 hours, and it's mostly just waiting. And then once I am passed, I have to go and take another hour and a half test class from the FAA, I guess. And then I have to go and have another chunk of training. And then, and only then, am I allowed to go out to the airport and spray planes with hot water.
I'll tell you what, though, it seems really close now. Like last week, like, man, you're going to be doing this forever. Now it's like, I mean, you're getting the badge. It's somewhere.
Hey, man, I all I can tell you is I'm pretty sure I'm going to be doing this before the end of the season.
Yeah. Okay. So is actually, so is this a seasonal job?
Oh yeah.
Oh, so they don't have stuff for you to do in the summer?
No. March 31st is the end of spraying planes with glycol.
They don't have you like sweep the runways after that or something?
No. This is strictly de-icing.
It's out there.
I'm not going to be in a runway sweeping union. That's a whole nother ball game.
Oh, geez, that's a whole nother 5 months of training.
I know. Well, you gotta, here's the thing. I mean, literally, it's not a difficult job, but you have to, and every individual airline they got to put their little thumbprint on it. It's like, oh, we prefer that you spray 140 degree water onto our planes. Oh no, we'd like it to be 160. We'd like it if you don't. And the guy says, I know it's ridiculous. We have to go through their thing so that you get approved. I've been working here for 5 years. I think we've done one of their planes the entire time I've been here. So it's but you got to do it all. So anyway, this is not wrestling. This is life, baby. Anyway, if you're watching tonight, we're on 4 different platforms. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube. We're on Periscope, and we're on Twitch. Happy to see all of you that are watching along with us. We'll be talking today a little bit about what happened in the past week, but probably more this week. We'll be doing previews of the 2 pay-per-views that are coming up, which I say 2 because I am totally into the NWA at this point. Bought into that lock, stock, and barrel. I love it because it is short. It is old school. It's wrestling the way that I used to watch it.
I'm just chuckling because then you get their pay-per-view and it's like 4 hours long.
No, I don't. Boy, if it is, I'm going to be pissed.
That'd be hilarious. I would laugh so hard.
But if that's the case, it was only $20. So I'm getting my money's worth. But
was it all in originally like $20 or $30 only for that pay-per-view?
Yeah, I think so, maybe. But anyway, point being, Into the Fire, NWA, you can see that one on Fight TV. And of course, TLC, which you and I will be at this Sunday at the Target Center in Minneapolis. You can watch it on the WWE Network if you're not going to be there in person, which we're going to be.
Yeah, dude. So this is the card for TLC.
Yeah.
Already. And it feels, it's just, so if you've been following along, and we even talked about it on last week's episode, that we're 2 weeks out, and at that point there was no matches announced. I mean, there was the 3 locally leaked matches, which again, I think one of them has maybe changed already. But yeah, like it was like, oh, like they're really not doing anything yet for this show.
6 matches, and you know that this is a 7 p.m. Is it or 6 p.m.? 6 p.m. It's going to be a 4-hour pay-per-view, and yet at this point they have 6 matches scheduled.
Yeah. So we have a TLC match with Roman Reigns versus King Corbin, which I can't wait for because I'm going to pop hard for King Corbin.
Yeah, okay.
Like, yeah, beat him up. Eat that dog food. You suck because Reigns sucks.
Yeah.
Tables match, that's interesting. Tables match: Rusev versus Bobby Lashley.
Bob Lashley, please correct yourself.
You called him Bobby though on Raw. When he made the official, it was such a letdown. He finally gets the mic. They're doing the stupid divorce crap.
Oh God!
It's just like, can we be? And again, I can't figure out if she's just really good at acting this horribly, or if she is just this horrible because it's just annoying for how long it goes on. So I had a buddy over who doesn't really watch wrestling anymore, but did, and was here for that segment and was just like, why? Like, she's annoying. Why do they keep letting her just screaming at the microphone? Like, this is stupid.
I think it's the reincarnation of Vicky Guerrero, to be honest with you.
Which there's only one Vicky though.
I know, but it's along the same. You know how it is. There's recycling.
Vicky's the shit. Have you ever met Vicky?
Yeah.
I should bring Vicky back just to squash Lana. I would be.
You know what? I'd pay to see that.
Yes. Anyways, it was just weird that all that build up, all the stupid divorce, like all side for like all that to finally like get this divorce, and then it all just comes down to, but I want one thing from you. And then again, he makes the official challenge. I want one match with, and I was sitting there just ready to be like Bob Lashley, and also he's like Bobby Lashley, and I was like, why did you say Bobby? Like that was the only thing in my head. I didn't really care.
I know.
The match got set up, and was like, oh, finally, they're coming together. I was just like, the hell, dude, you're supposed to call him Bob. It's just not storyline anymore. No, it was interesting. I liked his Donald Duck shirt though. That gave me and just everything good about this whole storyline of this Lana, Rusev, and Bobby Lashley love triangle has been Rusev.
All Rusev.
I mean, this whole divorce thing they did in Raw was purely entertaining because of Rusev.
Yeah.
And
let's be honest. It was lock, stock, and barrel, and just like I was saying, recycled garbage. It's always hot garbage. The only way that they have a tables match is because, I mean, and if it's not telegraphed to us by now, there's the table. They're going to have their little tete-a-tete, and then here comes Bob Lashley down, and Rusev will put him through the table, or Lashley will put Rusev through the table, one or the other, and now we got a tables match. That's the only reason we have a tables match, and lo and behold, it is 6 days before the flipping pay-per-view.
I know. I love that the build and go homes all in 1 week. It really is, though. The one thing, here's the deal, and I will say this: I'm going to be somewhat lenient on this show and the stuff going into this show this Sunday because, like you and I were talking before, again, TLC is just that that little child pay-per-view that WWE has. That what did I tell you earlier? It's like the Harry Potter, but not magical. Yeah. That does live under the stairs. Like it's so hard to do anything with this show because you just wrapped up Survivor Series, which obviously is now a brand versus brand show. So you got all this brand shit. Now that just ends cold, just ends hard. So now you got to kind of go back to what you were kind of doing before that started. And now you got to like basically be like, okay, well, January's here. Royal Rumble's here. Official road to WrestleMania is here. We start building and starting at the Rumble. So now it's kind of like they're just like, let's just finish this stuff out, which makes me kind of happy because if they were going to make this a long-term feud of Bobby Lashley and Rusev over the Lana divorce, I would be so not happy with that.
Yeah.
Hopefully this is going to wrap this whole thing up and we finally can maybe see them do something positive with Rusev. And then you got the SmackDown Tag Team Championships, the New Day versus the Revival.
Good for them. You know, I mean,
it's nice to see the Revival live. Like,
yeah, I would agree, but you know, it's like I don't care.
Well, you know, the other thing too with this match is New Day is really taking a hit with Xavier Woods being out.
Oh, definitely.
And Kofi's singles career just took a devastating blow because he lost out. Didn't kind of do anything single wise after that because Xavier got hurt, so he just jumped right back into the tag team with Big E. So
yeah,
it's an unfortunate thing. It'll be still a good match though.
Yeah.
You're probably match of the night, the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship TLC match, first ever women's TLC match. The Kabuki Warriors versus Raw Women's Champion Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair.
Yes. Now, I gotta say that the last week when Charlotte took them on 2 against 1, that was, I loved it, and we talked about that a little bit. In this week when she went and talked to Becky about, oh well, we should be tag partners, and Becky's like, oh, you need my help? No, eh? And I'm like, it's like, I still don't understand what they're trying to do with that. It's either you do it or you don't. I mean, this whole mucking around doesn't make either of them. I mean, I don't,
because they're hitting reset after this show for Rumble.
Well, yeah, and that's fine, but why? I mean, you know. Anyway, point being, I sure hope that they don't give them the tag belts. I hope that the Kabuki Warriors hold on to them because I think they are very effective as the heels holding those belts, and to me that's very entertaining. Not only because I'm biased, but I think that is the best use of those two, given the fact that they can't speak that well.
Yeah, it definitely is. It's just worrisome to hear that it sounds a lot like Kairi Sane's not going to eventually resign, though.
Yeah,
so that's kind of sad. But you'll still get Asuka. She doesn't want to go anywhere. But I think also the reason I don't know what the reason would be why, but like now they're starting to have reports come out. Ooh, Ronda Rousey like not in a hurry to get pregnant all of a sudden now. Mm-hmm. Which, okay, whatever. And I like how they kind of keep everything hush hush because you notice how they were really playing up the Total Divas finale where she's like, I want to have a baby.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, again, that was how many months ago in real life?
Mm-hmm.
Should have probably already been knocked up by now.
Should have probably already had a kid by now.
You know what I mean? But now it's saying that she's not in a hurry. Triple H has already been noted saying she'll be back sooner than later. So I really think too, in the next stretch to the next Mania is going to be a fine time to pull up Shayna Baszler, maybe pull in those horsewomen, have Ronda come out, where then we're going to see Charlotte, Becky, Sasha, and Bailey. Did I say them all?
Mm-hmm.
I think I got all 4.
Yeah.
Finally have that match because it's just, why wouldn't you do it? You got them all there. You're going to do it. It's going to happen eventually. Plus, I think, because, and again, correct me or forgive me if I'm wrong, but like Shayna Baszler's still NXT Women's Champ right now, right?
Yes, she is.
Rhea Ripley's hotter than crap right now.
Oh, yeah.
Good time to put that belt on her at Rumble.
I would agree.
Just a good time to do it. She's hot. I mean, it was good timing with that Survivor Series and the brand versus brand stuff. It's really shown that. And I think that's how we're going to see Keith Lee make his transition too. I think he's in the Rumble, but he's not coming back to the NXT after the Rumble.
Yeah. I would have a tendency to agree with you there.
Yeah. Anyways, it's still going to be a fun match to watch. I think we're going to be lucky to see this good match in person. You'll get to see the Mist live.
I don't think she hasn't done the mist in the last 2. They've cheated.
She's gonna do it at the pay-per-view.
I hope she does it at the pay-per-view.
Come on, she's gonna do it.
I gotta see some green mist at the pay-per-view.
You gonna run down there and try to get some on your hand?
If I get some on me, I'll never wash. Green mist. Oh,
that's so gross.
I know.
Be like,
anyway,
you're not riding in my car home. I'm telling you that one right now.
Anyway, but one of the other matches that's announced is the Miz versus Bray Wyatt.
Right,
and it's as Bray Wyatt.
Yeah, which is perfect. I mean, this is what everybody's been wanting to see. They wanted to see this go into the two, the bipolar multi-personality character in the ring, and we're gonna finally get it. I'm just excited that we don't have red lighting to worry about now.
Yeah, that'll be nice.
That's really good.
It won't match my mask or anything that I wear, but
so I did order a hoodie with our logo on it.
Oh, you did?
But I did it today, so I don't know if it's going to be here by Sunday.
Well, you can check it. I'll tell you, it came when I ordered stuff. It came very quickly.
Yeah, I mean, it might. It says it could be anywhere from 2 to like 10 days.
Oh, well, I hope it shows up.
Yeah.
If it doesn't,
then I'll still wear it.
Yeah, there you go. If anybody would happen to what?
I can get some of those nice polos with our logo on it. I could wear those to work.
Yeah.
I didn't even know we had those. That's amazing. You should check out our store, everybody. It's pretty sweet.
I went through all of the items and I thought to myself, well, just because this stuff won't fit me doesn't mean we shouldn't make it available to people.
Hell no. And I appreciate it.
And there's a lot of cool stuff there. And I went through and we've got stuff for guys and specifically cut and tailored for women as well. Well, I'll tell you what, those hoodies looked really nice. I'm glad you got one. I'll be interested to see it. We don't have them available in my size.
Yeah, so, we'll make that happen eventually.
Sooner or later.
This is the only other match that's actually on the card as of right now. There's another match kind of rumored for it, but this one's on the card. And why this isn't a damn doors match, I'll never figure out. But Aleister Black versus Buddy Murphy, because he knocked on my door.
He picked a fight with me.
You don't knock on another man's door.
Here's the thing. That'll be a fantastic match. I'm glad that we're going to get to see it.
I just want someone to finally have a thing with Buddy Murphy where they're like, you had Alexa Bliss. That close.
Yeah. Well,
that close.
There you go, Midgie.
Tough loss, man. Tough loss.
Yeah. Well, my fear about that match is, given that they're going to add a whole bunch of crap to this pay-per-view out of nowhere, that it may be on the pre-show.
I'm not gonna lie though, I kind of, when they announced this match, I was like, oh, pre-show for sure. But then again, they made a more of a big deal to announce it though. They gave this a whole, like, between the match time that
well, they gave it a couple of weeks.
Like, they've given this some time, so maybe it's not. But I mean, don't get me wrong, both of them are going to put on a great show. Both are sound performers in the ring, so that's going to be cool. The other match that I heard was rumored, and it's not on here right now, and I don't know exactly why, but I've read some reasoning why it might not be on the card, but it sounded like we were supposed to get Owens and Seth Rollins, which on Raw we finally had the turn, the most lackluster, like, because you knew it was him. And again, I get it. We're in such a bad time for WWE wrestling because, again, you just finished one of your big shows. We're about to go into one of your other biggest shows that kicks off the official season build to the grand show of them all. So this is almost vacay time, man. Like, everybody's on cruise control. The holidays, people are getting, they're all getting Christmas off this year, which is something WWE doesn't usually do. So that's very awesome. Good that they finally did that. But there's just not a lot going on with this. So again, it was really predictable to be like, oh yeah, I said it. I said it when that happened at the pay-per-view at Survivor Series. I'm like, oh, they're obviously working with Seth Rollins.
Here's one of the things that irritates me about this whole thing. And we've discussed that sometimes they don't give stuff enough time to breathe. A lot of times they don't. A lot of times they rush to the conclusion of something. Here's a case where they took a long time and did just such a terrible job of making it seem A, real, B, really sort of mean anything. It's just, I don't understand how on one end they rush everything, and on the other hand they just draw this thing out, and it was just sort of painful to get to the point where Seth finally, made the turn. Whereas with like Bailey, it was like, yeah, you're going to be heel tonight. I mean, literally, it was almost like that.
Yeah, it's weird. They're like picking the worst things to do the slow burn, but like this, you should have just came out, because Seth Rollins was that guy.
Yeah.
Like, he all of a sudden just turned on a dime on the Shield. It wasn't like he kind of was like laying seeds down and stuff. He just all of a sudden one day turned. So this should have just been all of a sudden, when the AOP attacked him, he just gets up. He's like, yeah, they're with me now, and screw all of you, or something like that. But it's it's so funny, because I just don't see where Seth Rollins is going to be going forward, like Rumble to Mania.
Yeah,
just because I feel like Kevin Owens could easily be in a way bigger storyline for Mania this year than him and Seth Rollins.
Yeah,
he's definitely over enough right now. So yeah, I don't know, but so that match was supposed to happen. You saw Seth didn't have a match on Monday Night Raw. You saw his hand was bandaged up. I guess he broke his pinky at a house show in Georgia. So WWE.com put out that Kevin Owens is being evaluated for injuries due to the AOP attack. And again, the rumor was these two were supposed to have a match on Sunday at TLC. And now I also read, though, that like what really is going on, because I'm guessing that's probably WWE putting them out. It's usually a work still. It's usually still storyline that he has that broken pinky. Depending on the severity of the broken pinky, was why that match maybe isn't happening now Sunday at TLC. Which that kind of pisses me off. Like,
yeah,
I hate you, Seth Rollins. I hate you so much. And now you're taking away one of the things that I love at the show I'm going to be at. I won't see KL again live. Well, at least in the cities this Sunday. And it's just like,
one of those things, baby.
We're going to probably see, I don't know, because I guess I didn't watch SmackDown. I will definitely watch SmackDown this Friday. So
yeah, because we'll probably have another 6 matches announced.
Exactly. But I'd like to see. Hopefully Alexa Bliss is somehow involved on the show and in the card. She's doing an appearance Saturday
Going to be in town,
Minnesota. Good old hour and a half drive. I don't know if I want to make that drive to get my phone.
At a Walmart.
It is at a Walmart. It's free autograph and photo op, I guess.
Yeah.
2 hours long. Starts at 10 a.m. The question is, how early would I need to be there?
6:30.
And that's why I'm like, I don't know. I want to get up there.
You want to be first in line, baby. You want to be first.
If I go, I would probably shoot to get there at like 7.
Yeah.
And 7:30.
Where's the line?
You know what I mean?
Get over there. Where's the line? Hey,
like, we'll probably have some sort of ticket system.
Yep.
Get there, you get a ticket. If you don't get there to get a ticket, you can't get in line for the actual autograph.
Yeah.
So I mean, if I get up there and I can't get a ticket, then at least I know and I can just leave.
Yeah.
But if I got up there at like 5, 6 in the morning to get in line, and then all of a sudden, like, here we come at like 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and they're handing tickets out, and I somehow don't get it, and it's like, got up this early to come all the way up here, and I didn't even get like. So I don't know. Maybe I'll just get a wild hair up my butt and decide to just drive up there and see if I can get the autograph. But
well, I'll be driving back home from Stevens Point, because that's where I'm at on Friday, so I will not be seeing Alexa Bliss. And give her my best when you see her.
If I see her,
you'll see her. You'll say, "Hey, you remember me?"
I don't know if I don't know if I want to get up that early, man. That's so early.
That's a haul.
It's so early for what's going to be hours of waiting for a 2-minute interaction and an autograph, where it's like, because it's not like I won't, if I go to a Mania or something else, or eventually I'm sure she's doing Comic Cons and stuff now.
Yeah.
It's not like there's not going to be other chances to meet Alexa Bliss. Free's nice though, man. You know how much they charge to meet people at those Comic Cons nowadays?
25, 50.
Like Batista was like probably like $100-$200 for a photo.
Don't need him.
You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, I got my picture with Gilbert Gottfried and the Impractical Jokers for nothing because I was working with them.
There you go. Right.
You know? I'll trade. In fact, I got a comic book autographed by the Impractical Jokers.
They have their own comic book.
Well, they had one made for a charity.
Oh, that's cool.
So yeah, it's a limited edition. You can buy it from me for $400.
I'm good.
See, there you go. That's the same. I don't need Dave Batista's picture with me either.
No, right? But Big Dave Batista is about to be a Hall of Famer, though. So
yeah, how about that?
Yeah, congrats to him. I guess I don't know. That's someone.
Do you think that's why Dana Brooke was monkeying with him now?
Come on, now. It has to be. WWE always got their finger in something.
Yeah,
and because of it, Dave gets to put his finger in something. So win. I'm surprised she's not going to induct him. Wouldn't that be hilarious?
Do you mean something? Do you mean induct or do you mean something else?
No, like how funny would it be if when that night comes, she's the one introducing him to?
You got to think that it's going to be Triple H that inducts him.
Oh, he already said who it is. You didn't see this?
No, I didn't.
Because everybody thought it would be like Triple H or something.
Yeah.
Flair, I guess he asked Fit Finlay.
Really?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and he's like, anybody who knows my career, like the behind the scenes, will understand this. And he said, yeah, I chose Fit Finlay to induct me.
Very nice.
Cool. Now, the other ones, which again, so the NWO is getting inducted. What are they the original for? Was 1, 2, 3 kids the fourth member?
I don't recall exactly. I know. It was Hogan, Hall, and Nash. The fourth one. See, I'd have to go back and look at it because it seems to me like it might have been the Giant.
That's what I thought. That is what I thought.
It seems to me like the Giant was there before 6, but
maybe not. I don't know. Anyways, yeah. So those guys. So it's Hogan, Nash, Hall, and X-Pac, Sean Waltman, are all getting inducted. You could probably guess it's going to be Eric Bischoff inducting him on that one.
Yeah.
I mean, why wouldn't it be?
Yeah.
But yeah, that'll be interesting. I hope they change it up. I heard that they're doing it different again this year. I don't know if that means no. I heard they might be doing the same format for the Hall of Fame like last year, where it was in the ring. I didn't like it.
No, it's distracting to me.
It takes away from the fact that that's supposed to be for WWE some sort of prestigious and big deal, and then you're just doing it in the ring. And
I felt like it was a little gimmicky in that ring.
It definitely was. Plus, look what happened. Bret Hart gets attacked and almost busted.
Yeah. No, it never would have happened on a stage.
Hell no. Rasta Man would have never got on that stage.
Nope.
Yeah, but then we also wouldn't have gotten to see like 10 different wrestlers pop up from ringside and beat the shit out of some ring.
Yeah, that's all. That was worth it.
That was good stuff. So yeah, that'll be they're also doing it on a different night. Do you see that? I think the Hall of Fame is kicking off TV WrestleMania week.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because it used to be Friday.
Yeah.
Obviously. Or no, it used to be Saturday because it was always the night before WrestleMania. Now, obviously, they don't want to do that because TakeOver's on Saturday.
Yeah.
So they're going to mush that around. But yeah, so who knows what's going to happen on SmackDown that's going to add on to all these things for TLC. But it'll be a good night.
I agree. And it'll be interesting to see who they also induct into the Hall of Fame. Do you have any idea, any predictions?
I mean, if you're going to do Batista, and also considering the fact that Rock supposedly in some interview months ago said that I quietly retired from the in-ring performing. Why wouldn't you? You know what I mean? And it's in Florida, not Miami. but it is in Florida. Although maybe they would wait and go back to Miami and have him then. But I mean, he's always going to be a big name. I saw some people kicking around Undertaker's name for this year. And maybe now that you've seen him do more stuff like that Steve Austin show, actually talking about his career more. So I don't know.
It was very interesting the way that they announced this year too. Typically they announce it on Raw, right? And then release it right before.
They used to. The last few years, what's been happening is it breaks through a news source during the day. Right. Then that night on Raw or on Smackdown, they'll play the thing to say it. But their new thing is because, I mean, and I get it. Why wouldn't you when you have people like ESPN or Rolling Stone and stuff who's willing to be like, yeah, okay, we'll break that story for you. Because it was ESPN that broke the NWO.
Right.
Like they're the first to report it. So, and I get it. You get some major news outlet reporting something, gives you more credibility and, adds to it. But yeah, that'll be, that means we got to listen to Hogan talk again on a microphone.
No, well, I'll skip through it.
No problem. I'm racist.
He'll be in Florida. It'll be easy for him.
Let me tell you, brothers.
Brother.
We used to call you back in the day, brothers. It goes way, way wrong.
Yeah. So there's another pay-per-view this weekend on Saturday, and that's NWO Into the Fire, which also might be one that Hogan might be interested in. But we'll just go through it real quick. Right now they have 6 matches on the docket for that show. You can watch that one on Fight TV. And you have the Question Mark, who has quietly become a very popular character on the NWA show, against Trevor Murdoch. You have a tag team match between women's champion Allysin Kay and Ashley Vox versus Melina and either Thunder Rosa or Marty Bell. That hasn't been decided yet. Eli Drake will take on Ken Anderson. That'll be good. Nick Aldis against James Storm in a 2 out of 3 falls match. That's going to be pretty good. We'll have Brian Hebner is the referee for the first fall. Tim Storm will be the referee for the second fall. They haven't said anything about if there has to be 3 falls. Colt Cabana in a triple threat match for the NWA National Championship against Aaron Stevens, the former Sandow, and Ricky Starks, who is a hot up-and-comer. And if we didn't talk about it last week, the Rock and Roll Express, Ricky Morton, 63 years old, and Robert Gibson, I don't know how old he is, beat the Wild Cards last week for the NWA World Tag Team Championship. And so they'll give the belts back at the pay-per-view.
I saw that they had done that, and I don't know. First of all, it's just kind of like, for me, when I seen that I knew they were going to be on there, but when I seen that they actually won a match, I was just kind of like, ugh. I don't know. It was just way too close to the AEW Dynamite appearance, and
oh gosh, yes,
way too close that it's just like, all right, Billy, we see what you're doing. You're riding coattails now. And then,
but now wait a minute. Because that was already planned. I mean, they taped all of those episodes for NWA Power at the same time.
But then the other thing, too, is, like, I cringed enough on Dynamite when those guys got involved. Like, it was cool, but, like, it was also like, oh, my God, please don't ever do that shit again because you're going to die. You're old, man. So then to hear that they were in a match, it was just like, okay. I don't know. For some reason, but I don't like that shit. I don't want to see a 70-year-old guy who, yes, has a legacy come back. And to me, when that happens, it's like Flair having his fucking swan song with Heartbreak Kid, and then months later, sorry, I dropped an F-bomb. And then months later, all of a sudden he's on TNA Impact, just crapping all over the perfect send away that no one else will ever have.
Right.
No one else, maybe Taker. and you just crapped on it. And like that's what happened when I see these old guys. Like even WWE will do it sometimes, and like even Dynamite when they let those guys get involved, it was just like, come on, man, let them just sit in the crowd. I don't want to see these old guys doing stuff.
I agree. Anyway, so
at least they got more glory.
Anyway, I'll tell you this though. I've already paid for that. I got it at the cheap price of $19.99. Right now it's $25. So I got a $5 discount for getting it early. I'll watch it later because I'll be doing something else on Saturday night. But I'm really into the NWA, even with the Cornette fiasco. And now they're bringing in Stu Bennett / Wade Barrett to be on the announce team. So I think,
which by the way, Bad News Barrett was probably that year that came out was one of the best gimmicks that year for WWE. They just ruined it themselves.
Absolutely. And I think the timing for this for him and for the NWA actually couldn't be any better. Because I think
this is the time for wrestling.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Anything in the wrestling company, this is the time to be involved and be in it. I mean, really, you look at it, I mean, Impact's doing pretty good right now. NWA's doing good. AEW's doing good.
ROH is could be doing better. I will say this. I watched highlights of a match between Marty Scurll and PCO. It was freaking fantastic.
Oh yeah, for sure. But the problem with that, well, the problem that they made ROH is you had a Marty Scurll, you had a Flip Gordon, you had Jay Lethal, you had Dalton, which is, in my opinion, if you weren't going to give it to Marty Scurll once the Bullet Club left the very big holes to fill, we're going to give that to Marty since he was the last one still there and was probably most over. How are you not giving Dalton Castle the run of the company? Matt Taven. Matt Taven. Don't get me wrong, I was on the Jericho Cruise where he was on it with ROH last year, and great in-ring worker, great, but like he's not. To me, it just he wasn't a company guy. Like there were other people they had at that time that they could have been like, you're now the ROH guy. We're pushing you in front of everything, and they could have maybe had a fighting chance. Where now it's just I feel like there's been so much damage that they're really fighting to stay afloat at this point.
Yeah.
And you can see it because they're losing people now. They're losing talent. You've got who is there? Or Joey Mercury, who's on like Twitter every other day, just like tweeting everything out that the general manager is supposedly saying. That's like throwing everybody under the boat. That guy apparently was doing, and yeah, it's just, man. I wish they would have made some better choices then. That would have maybe led them to a better thing right now. But and again, that good for them for holding Marty down a little extra time. But I mean, you gotta believe that after that show in a few weeks that he has with them, next week or the week after, right? Is it that ROH show? And then he's doing like one TV for them right after. You gotta know that that's it. That's gotta be it.
Now, having said that, I know you didn't probably get to watch in AEW Dark tonight when it came on. I did. And there was a segment with MJF who was talking and replying to Cody's promo on him. And he said, who do you think brought the 3Bs in? And so now we have a hint of MJF starting his little faction. Yeah.
The 3, what did he say?
3Bs, the Butcher, the Blade, and the Bunny.
Oh.
Who do you think brought them in?
Okay.
So I'm just saying.
Oh, no, I'm not saying that. I get what you're saying. I'm just saying, like, is that the smartest move AEW could be making?
I don't think so.
By grouping all of your talent.
Everybody's going to be in a group. I don't like it myself.
I want MJF to just have a heel run either by himself or him with like one big dude.
Wardlow.
Or him and like Marty. Like I think
Yeah.
they could do like a really badass villain club.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Again, though, I watched Dynamite this week and it was a good episode. Sound issues. Production, get your shit together ready. Sound issues again. I had my thing so loud, and then when they finally came back normal, it was like, blah. I was like, oh, but it was really, it made it difficult. And then, I mean, again, I know some people are really loving AEW because it's just the matches and all this action, and it's awesome. But I need some story behind it.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like we're only getting like Jericho, the road stuff, but like that's it. Who else is getting chances to cut promos here and further any storylines?
Yeah, because I think what they're doing is they're not doing a lot of promos. They're hopping right to a match to start the show. And I understand why they do that, but ultimately it doesn't build the characters. And now we talked about this a little last week. I had another segment for the Dark Order. Now I'm kind of digging it a little bit.
I know, right?
Even though they're creepy.
Yeah, I like that they were able to figure that out with them. But the worry for me with them is that they're thinking they have kind of an independent mindset behind their show.
Yeah.
And Cody Rhodes has said this. He wants the crowd to be more loud, vocal, and excited than anything else, which is why you see so many big spots during matches every week on AEW. But, like, again, Chris Statlander versus Akira Shida. Why?
Yeah.
There's no reason these two should be in the ring against each other other than the fact that we had to have a women's match on AEW Dynamite.
Well, it was the other one that they had, I mean, they had the one where Nyla Rose was suspended for putting the referee through the table. But that's, I think, the reason that one was done. The reason that Statlander and Sheeta wrestled was so Brandy and Awesome Kong could come out and try to cut her hair.
Right, which is
and this is they're in my mind, what they're doing is they're setting up these matches in order to make these things that they want to do make sense. And it should be the other way around.
Uh-huh.
They should do things in order to forward the matches so that the matches mean something, because I think they're engineering it backwards right now. That's what it seems like to me.
Uh-huh.
With a couple of, and that's not necessarily in the men's division, but women's division, absolutely. I think they're doing it backwards.
Uh-huh. Oh yeah, I agree. And with like Leva Bates, she was jobbed out again to Nyla Rose.
Oh yeah.
I think they're missing the boat on Leva Bates. I think if they let her go full heel with that librarian role, I think she could come off like a Vicky Guerrero type.
Yeah.
I think she can pull that off. And there you go. You got a heel. You could build a story around it. Weird. And then the other one with Brandy and Kong coming out, cutting the hair. But then the person from Chris or something like that, which again, because then you see that it's hard to look at AEW's women's division and not just right now be like
hokey.
They're not doing anything. Rio's awesome, but they're not even doing anything with her. They just will have shots at her. The only actual story building, character development we're getting is for one of the executives' wife.
Mm-hmm. And part of
you think like maybe the stuff with her and Kylie Ray was maybe true a little bit.
Could be.
I don't know. That's all hearsay. It's just
I know, but
I just think it's missing out.
Could be. I will say this too. I enjoy a little bit of gamesmanship, and AEW continues to take little subtle shots at the WWE. And I enjoy it. I don't know that it forwards anything for them, but I enjoy it. The last Being the Elite it's a sprint, you know, and the whole beginning was just taking shots at Triple H and his. It's a sprint, it's a marathon, not a sprint. Man, game over, game over, game over.
Did you like too how AEW on Dynamite had that shot of Britt Baker?
I laughed my balls off. Now, see, it's one of those things where it's like it's so inside that your average. I mean, you got to watch everything to get it. But I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah, it was a good thing they did.
And then they continued to I mean, they had Britt Baker as commentator on one of the dark matches, which they've been doing, which is to me pretty interesting. They'll bring the wrestlers in on AEW Dark and have them sit with Excalibur to do color for the matches, which is it's unique in wrestling, and I like it. But then they were making a lot of fun of Britt Baker during the Luchasaurus Marco Stunt match against whoever they were, some jobbers they were fighting. And she says, which of the Jurassic Express do you like best? She says, oh, I love Marco Stunt. It is more than your boyfriend. And that was just I love it. I love it.
Yeah,
because they're having fun with the situation. I don't know if I don't know if it serves them well, but anyway,
I enjoyed it. But do you have any pops or drops this week?
I mean,
just because I was TLC, man. It's been TLC. I'm just pumped to get to the show.
I would agree with you. I mean, the only pops I have, I mean, I just love the fact that Asuka and Kairi Sane are in my mind being used properly at this point. But I wouldn't say it's like, oh my God, it's just, I'm happy with that. The drop of the week, I would say, is this. Sami Zayn shows up on Smackdown to, say whatever the hell he was saying so again, now there is no separation. I mean, that to me is just
a manager's license.
You know what? I
want one.
I get one. I mean, I don't think it's hard to get. I just
apply for one manager's license.
Well, first you got to get in line.
It was probably the wrong line. I bet it was right next to you at your thing that you stood in for.
I could have got a badge at the airport or a manager's license, and I picked the wrong one. Absolutely picked the wrong one. But no,
you get more with your badge.
I just the whole, I think when they blur those lines, they don't do themselves a service. If they want everybody everywhere, then we'll end up what we were before they moved over to Fox, which is hot garbage in my mind. And then you got even more people that don't get used properly. And then you get more talent that's upset because they're not being used. And to be honest, they may be getting paid well, but as well as I do that you can get paid and it ain't any fun to sit on your ass when you want to be working.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You want to do what you're there to do. You don't want to sit there because they can't figure out what to do with you. And I think that's one of the things, when they release some of these guys and who they released Harper and Sin Cara and a couple other guys this week. But they still have 90 days to wait before they can go anywhere. It's the whole thing is hoarding of talent for the sake of it is not good for anybody. So that'd be my drop. It's a long drawn out drop, but there you go.
I'm gonna just get a manager's license. It'd be cool, like Sam.
Get a manager's license. You be a man.
Get a
manager's
I don't get is why does Mojo Rawley need someone to speak for him? He's always been pretty hyped, outspoken, right?
What I don't get is why is Mojo Rawley still on the roster?
Because he's hype, yo. Plus, how else is WWE going to get to Gronk eventually?
Yeah, I suppose.
To be honest, like I feel like that's a little bit of the reason Mojo still has a job.
I would have a tendency to agree with you.
But here's the other thing. I kind of like Mojo Rawley, and I think he is a good in-ring worker. I don't think he's as bad as some people may say he is. I think they just never knew how to really. The hype guy was hard. It was hard. That's not an easy thing to sell.
I agree with you, and I think that's. But I also think that's the case with many of these guys. Let's be honest. If you're on the roster for WWE, you're definitely a good wrestler. There's no question about that. And then it boils down to
that's your Sin Cara.
Well,
the real Sin Cara.
Yeah, this is Sin Cara the third, and nobody knows.
I broke my finger. Stop the match.
Oh, you're
fired.
I
could be backstage for that moment.
Anyway, point being, I think it ultimately falls to the writers, because we all know at this point that it's the writers putting this stuff down, and these guys have to deal with what they're told to do.
Yeah. And the bum thing is, do you remember his promos with the mirror?
Yeah.
Like those were pretty good.
Then they came to zero, and it's not his fault, but it was just a filler. Yeah. He never did squat with it, did he? No, they gave him like 2 or 3 times where he did it, and then they just stopped. You never saw him again. Yeah.
Another thing before we get to our SummerSlam 1999 experience,
I'm so excited.
What did you think? And I get why they did this. They had to do this because it was being made of online. Such a deal about how we're 1 week out from TLC and there's no matches. There's no match card. Like we don't have any matches. So what was your take on the Street Profits basically doing like a Saturday Night Live weekly update?
Hot garbage.
Man, it was too bad because I love the Street Profits.
I do too. Again, it's a situation where, these guys are pros. You tell them, hey, we want you to do this. They're going to do it to the best of their ability.
Oh yeah.
And and that's a hard thing, because as the performers, when they do something like that stinks, it's on them, as far as viewers and fans. It's not on, it's not on the people it should be on, the people that came up with the dumb idea. I mean, let's be honest. I one of the other things that I listened to, there was a chunk of Cornette's podcast where he was talking about his release and how things went and what happened after he was released from NWA for his comments. And he said the next show, which was always planned to be a package show after he got released, everybody lambasted Dave Lagana and was just saying what a crap, blah, blah, everything, ragging on the NWA. And he said, very justly, he says, you can go ahead and rag on Dave Lagana because he's the guy that edited it and played it and then said it was wrong after the fact. He says, but don't rag on the NWA because those are the guys that don't have any control and didn't have anything to do with it. And this is the same kind of thing where these guys are in a position they have to do what they're told. I mean, I guess they could refuse, but then where would that put them? Right on the bench with Luke Harper, I guess, because they don't know how to do a good Southern accent. But I mean, that's my opinion of it. I think it's hot garbage. I'm sad that they had to do that.
I don't think it's a regular thing, though, too. I think
I don't either.
I think they did it literally because they wanted to make a point of, here's your match card for TLC. Everybody stop bitching.
Yeah.
That's literally all that was.
I agree.
Everybody made a big deal about it.
But it's still hot garbage.
Yeah, it is. And you know what? If that's something where if they kind of let the Street Profits maybe have more freeway on that, it maybe would turn into something, because obviously their backstage promos are amazing.
Oh, yeah.
No one is writing that word for word for them.
Right.
Getting to kind of just go off on it. So, yeah, man. Yeah.
All right. Are you ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
The year is 1999. The place is the Target Center in Minneapolis, Minnesota. And a young red-headed boy named Big Ace goes to his very first pay-per-view, which is SummerSlam.
Yeah, we were talking before. First pay-per-view, first WW at the time F show. Hell yeah. Yeah, man. I've always been a fan, but like I never got to go to the big shows. Like my parents just were not, and I at the time never knew how to like realize like, oh, they're coming to Minneapolis. Right? Yeah. So it wasn't anything. 99 hits, and I was like, oh, now I'm like old enough to realize like, oh, they're gonna be at the Target Center. Oh, I can get tickets. And whatever. So yeah, we did that. Beforehand, it was just straight AWA shows, baby, at the Civic Center. Local.
Yep.
Let's go. Larry Land. That's like the first thing I think I remember from pro wrestling live. Me seeing was Larry Zbyszko.
Wow.
And he is the living legend. Yeah. August 22nd, 1999, Target Center, Minneapolis, Minnesota. The event is one of two events where three major titles in WWE changed hands. The World's Championship, the Intercontinental Champion, Tag Championship probably isn't really much of a stat anymore since the belts aren't even the same anymore.
No.
Yeah, so this was the major feud going into this was Austin, Triple H, and Mankind. They end up being the main events. So we'll get into the matches here in a moment, but not only was I in the crowd for this, a younger mass comedian was there as well.
Yes, he was.
Now, where were you sitting?
I was in the lower bowl, and I would say probably to the announce table side and camera side. So we were in a good spot. Right. But I will say this, we were far enough away from that stupid lion's den to not be able to see a goddamn thing happen in it.
Okay, so like that's where it was different for me. I was upper level.
Okay.
But I was sitting directly to the side, the right side of the entranceway.
Oh.
So as we get into this, first match right off the bat, Jeff Jarrett. No, that wasn't the match. What one was it? Oh, it was the Al Snow one later. Anyways, there's a match with Snow and Boss Man where Al Snow jumps up on the pillar lighting entrance. Like I'm looking down right on top of his head.
Oh, wow.
I was able to see the Lion's Den A-okay.
Perfecto.
Yeah. So let's get into it, dude.
So
this was, first of all, 1999, about to hit 2000, Y2K, everybody's going to die months from today. Nothing happened. We're at the Target Center across the street from First Avenue, which obviously Purple Rain. If you don't know what that is, get a life.
Yep.
And then WWE comes. This probably was one of their first, if not the first pay-per-view in Minnesota.
I think that might be correct.
WWE. I mean, I know AWA did stuff here constantly. I mean, they did those big shows at the Metrodome where it was
God, yeah.
But I mean, that's how are you going to pack the Metrodome? So what I remember is it was a really nice day, and this is the day and age of Attitude Era. You're in the thick of it, maybe even getting closer to the end of it, or at least a change in it, because we're getting closer to the Invasion angle and the official actual buyout of WCW. So it is towards the tail end of the Monday Night Wars, the last couple of years of it. And you know what I remember from this era of shows, and particularly being there, is holy crap, no joke, everybody had a sign.
Oh, God, yes.
You couldn't go to a show in the Attitude Era and see the ring because everybody had a sign.
Yeah, I remember taking my kids to the show, and one show, because back then, when I worked in radio up in Fargo, we had WWE and WCW both coming up to Fargo, to the Fargo Dome. And because of my affiliation with radio, I was involved with those promoters, and I was the contact because I was the guy at the station that actually just says, hey, we should be talking to these guys.
Mm-hmm.
So when I moved down to Minneapolis, actually, when I moved to Rochester, at the station I was with, I just contacted them again, and we'd run a few ads, and we traded tickets because we were considered out of market. But they'd still trade tickets with us. Anyway, point being, I'd take my kids to WCW and WWE. They were both at the Target Center. Once in a while, it'd be over at the St. Paul Civic Center before they tore it down. Yeah, I remember having signs, and I would always, people, my kids would want to have signs for their favorites, like Undertaker, Sting, and my sign would always say something like "Eat more chicken," or "Eat more possum." Just anyway, point being, holy crap. And there was no restrictions on signs either.
No, I did. There were some pretty rough ones. I think I had one for The Rock that night. Sold out show. I believe I'm correct on that.
Yep. 19,000 plus.
Sold out in like a half hour too, if I remember correctly. They actually did a press event for this show at the Target Center, announcing it like a month in advance or some crap like that. And obviously the reason this is kind of a big deal at the time, and I think also the reason why we got this first pay-per-view here for WWF, obviously this is the heyday of Governor Ventura.
Yes, sir.
Oh, you didn't do it. I thought you would do it. Anyway.
You're talking like the governor? Yeah, well, Mr. McMahon and I have had problems most of our lives, but I got along with him fine to get that paycheck for SummerSlam.
I love it. So yeah, the big hype is Jesse Ventura is going to be there, but we'll get to that. Let's get into these matches and relive some good old times, man.
Now you go ahead and announce or let everybody know what the very first match was. And I'm going to tell you, because up until when I watched this, I never watched it on television. I never watched the televised product because I was there.
Mm-hmm.
And I have definite feelings about the quality of this broadcast for many reasons, but you go ahead and explain what happened in the first match.
So we got Jeff Jarrett with Deborah versus D'Lo Brown.
Head shaking. Yeah.
Now the big thing with this is obviously heyday Attitude Era Deborah puppies. All right. We get it. She comes out in like a little coat, tiny little bikini, looking all good. Obviously she's getting the pop. Nobody gives a shit about Jeff Jarrett. That's the storyline though too. He's playing into it, eventually tells her to go backstage. She's a distraction. They then cut to her backstage and like, I don't know, bitching to D'Lo, which is kind of weird because he's about to wrestle the guy you represent. They're fighting in 2 minutes, and you're gonna go and say he kicked me out, and then like D'Lo's like, "Come with me, bring like D'Lo's D'Lo's Brown's like hero in this. He's like the Superman, comes just out of nowhere, like I'm here, and brings her out to the ring. They do now. Did Henry come out with him?
No. Henry came at the end. But now let's just start with this match. If you would like to have a textbook example of misogyny, all you have to do is listen to Jerry the King Lawler speak. I mean, honestly,
you want the best is you've got to go back to the Royal Rumble where he hosted the bikini contest where Mae Young actually ends up flashing her boobs. Like, just listen to the things he's saying in the ring on the microphone. When
I know.
Like, his reputation, it speaks for itself as far as like why the guy had a new wife every year.
Now, I will say this. Given the era, if he would have said it once, okay, I get it. He was incessant to the point that it became annoying for me to listen to it. Now, I like boobs as much as an ex guy, but his continuous juvenile yapping about it, I just wanted to turn the sound off.
And I think that's that's a perfect example of the times changing, just because that was the norm in the Attitude Era.
No, I know it was.
Evos are out. That was the whole time. It's just boobs and butt, boobs and butt.
And I know that. But what I'm and I don't have a problem with that part of it, because that's what that was. The part I got a problem with is him just puppies, 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 puppies.
Oh.
Jim Ross would say something, and he'd go puppies, 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 puppies.
Yeah, I mean, but that's pretty good. You know what I mean?
No, I get it, but God damn it, was that annoying.
But it was hot too, man. This is about a year or two in from him creating puppies, and then Deborah was like the original.
Yeah, she was.
Like, she was the first one he dropped that on. So I mean, and you're in that heyday of where everything is a catchphrase from WWE. Everything that comes out of these people's mouths is a phrase. So I mean, that's why this is the time where you would go to these shows and there would be a 2-minute long puppy chant in the entire arena. It was just what was happening these days.
No, I know.
And you know him, man. He's all about his money. They're all about their money, so they're going to drain that well dry.
Yeah.
So it's like, but yeah, I mean, it's
anyway. So there's him and
now. What's funny now? Raw. They did the little vignette for Liv Morgan's return, which I mentioned, but hell yeah, Liv Morgan's coming back.
Yeah.
I don't know what to expect from that vignette. It almost feels like another Emelina, whatever they were doing with Emma that did not work out, and they ended up just making Candy Rose. Hello, Antonio. Welcome. We're talking about the 1999 SummerSlam, but real quick, we're talking about how, did you realize when they came back from the vignette, the announcer kept going, and then all of a sudden Jerry was just like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I was still thinking about Liv Morgan." And it's like, dude, it's not even funny now. You're just an old man. Like, stop. But it used to get bad too when Kat was in the ring when those.
Oh God, yes.
But so anyways, we got Jeff Jarrett, D'Lo Brown. They're doing the match.
Heyman and Han.
By the way, this is for the Intercontinental Championship and
/ European
WWF European Championship match, and
the whole rigmarole.
Yeah, the guitar somehow is about to come into play. We see Sexual Chocolate.
He comes out, and I love me some Mark Henry, man. Always have.
That was the best theme song ever. Just like a total Barry White ripoff.
Yeah.
Sexual Chocolate. Yeah. That was and it's got to be everybody's favorite Mark Henry gimmick is Sexual Chocolate. But he comes out,
grabs the guitar from Jarrett.
We get the full heel turn.
No. He says, "No, Jeff Jarrett, do not use this. No, Jeff Jarrett." And then he clocks D'Lo with it.
Yeah. He smokes,
which was beautiful.
Turns on him and leaves with the girl
and
her man, which is weird.
And
then after this, he ends up dating China and then impregnating Mae Young with a hand. So
it's all good.
He had a really good couple of years. It was a fun match, though, man. And it
really was.
And this is when those guys like, hey, Jeff Jarrett's always a great heel. Guy can draw heat doing whatever. D'Lo Brown was always just solid. And obviously this is younger Mark Henry, who's a legend, Hall of Famer.
Yep.
And one of my favorite all-time gimmicks by Mark Henry, Sexual Chocolate. So 7 minutes, 27 seconds, that match clocked in. We then move into our second match. Now, this is the tag team turmoil match to determine. This was long to determine. I remember being at the show for this. I don't know about you, Mass Comedian, but I was there and just was like, all right, can we like skip some of this?
Oh God. Yeah, it was,
and it wasn't even really that long. It was just a lot of people in one thing. Because we go from so tag team turmoil, determined the number one contender for the tag championships. Yeah,
which by the way was to be contested the next night on Raw.
Right.
Which is unheard of in this day and age.
It really is. So let me get this. Here we got
so first it's Edge and Christian out. Yes.
Yes. Okay, here we go. So we got Edge and Christian and the New Brood, right?
Yes. Which is the Hardys, run by Gangrel.
Correct. They get eliminated by Edge and Christian. This thing's kind of actually backwards that I'm reading right here, which is really weird. But eventually you have like Edge and Christian and the Brood in there. Edge and Christian go on a run. They eliminate the Brood, Midian and Viscera, because this is also when the Dark Ministry was becoming a thing.
Yes.
Draws and Prince Albert.
That was, and it's all mammoth freaking guys too.
Yeah. And Edge and Christian eliminate them. Draws, remember, he's gonna puke. That's so sad. He's in a wheelchair now.
I know.
Yeah, that's not funny.
But he can still puke.
He can't. You puke all your heart out, Draws. And then we end up having
the Acolytes.
Farouk and Bradshaw come out. They eliminate Edge and Christian and then defeat the Holly cousins, Hardcore Holly and Crash Holly, which was so funny because I remember when they got rid of Edge and Christian, it was like, oh, well, the match is over. Oh, wait, there's still those guys.
Those two punks.
Which, whatever. Crash Holly was always entertaining, though. Always getting a laugh.
I will say this. I had forgotten that they were calling Ron Simmons Farouk.
Mm-hmm.
I totally forgot about that.
Oh, yeah, man. And then Hardcore Holly is actually like a really nice guy, which surprised me.
Yeah.
Expected not to be a really nice guy.
He plays a dick very well, doesn't he?
Yeah, but like, dude, he's one of the only wrestlers that I've actually interacted with that, like, it was a meet and greet. You met him, tried to give him money, or like, how much is it for the picture and autograph? Nothing. I'm like, huh? Like, because that's you just don't get those free anymore. You just get them. It's just how it is. And I get it. That's how they're making their money. But like he said, he's like, I would have never had the wrestling career if you guys weren't watching. I don't want your money. Just thank you. Like, he's the only wrestler I've ever that did that.
Very cool.
Very cool for him, man. And then, so that was so weird that they had the match the next night on Raw.
Yeah,
really was. But then we get into, which probably people watching on the pay-per-view had to be like one of their favorite matches because of, it's a hardcore and it went everywhere, but being there, it was like, really? Paid all this money and they're not
can't see any of it.
What the shit?
Yeah.
So we get Al Snow and Big Boss Man.
By the way, we get to see Pepper.
We do get to see Pepper. Now, Boss Man was the champion, right? Hardcore WWE champion.
Correct.
Match started in the ring. Al Snow, again, he's on these big lighting.
Well, it didn't start in the ring. It started on the way to the ring. But as you said, yes.
He hops off that lighting thing. They end up going all over, but they end up going backstage. They end up outside and across the street in a bar, which is now like an Irish pub / strip club. So that's cool. Yeah. But they go, at the time, it was like one big bar, and they end up in there fighting and destroying stuff, which it's so funny, like, especially then, because just the people who are there that are just like, because they're being told like, hey, we're gonna do this, it's gonna be on TV, just act natural, act like you're surprised, and everybody's always just like, hey, to the camera.
The guy going through the door, the guy that was in there taking. Do you remember that part? The guy that's in the way between the camera and the action, and he's like,
yeah, it was crazy. It was a really good match. It was fun. It was a fun match to watch on TV on the broadcast.
It was not fun to watch there, though.
No, because it's just all outside. It even finished on the sidewalk in front of the bar.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't even come back into the arena.
Nope.
Al Snow comes back. He sees the Blue Meanie and Stevie Richards with Pepper. Which is this the storyline that eventually goes into where he eats Pepper because of Boss Man?
Yes.
Delicious. That match was a whole 7 minutes and 27 seconds.
Longer than that, but
you hear that and it felt way longer.
Particularly when we're sitting there and couldn't see any of it.
I know, that was a good time to go get a snack or pee. You got our next match is the women's match, Ivory versus Tori, which could, at this era for the women's division, we kind of didn't get any of the big hitters at the time, which was a little sad. I mean, Chyna was there, but she wasn't like on her own yet. She was still with Triple H.
Yeah.
So yeah, Ivory versus Tori, which don't get me wrong, Tori was okay. Ivory, obviously, she's been in the game forever. Got to respect it. She was one of the original Glows.
Yes, she was.
So that's a big props. Singles match, 4 minutes, 8 seconds. Ivory defeats Tori and gets that title. Now
Retains the title.
Now we get into. So this will be fun to talk about because again, I had perfect view of the Lion's Den. If you don't know what the Lion's Den is, it's imagine an MMA cage, but the bottoms drop down and you're like stuck in it. You gotta like climb up if you want to get out. Like
the way I would have described it to someone would be if you look into someone's backyard that has a trampoline and one of those cages around it.
Yeah. So, and also for this match, it's a weapons match. So they had weapons randomly hanging around the fencing of this thing.
Very similar to Mad Max Thunderdome.
Yeah, definitely. And it is Ken Shamrock versus Steve Blackman, which already, I mean, these guys are going to fight.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, like this is almost equivalent to when it was like Ken Shamrock versus Dan Severn.
Mm-hmm.
Where I was like, these guys are going to wrestle.
They're just really going to fight.
This is going to just be a fight. Like that's what it felt like.
Oh yeah.
I never, and still to this day, I'm not a Shamrock fan.
Nope.
Is it Orton? I guess Randy Orton has been online today protesting that Ken Shamrock should be in the Hall of Fame, and I laugh at that, and I hope it never happens. You want to put someone in the Hall of Fame? Put Dan to be Severn in. Oh, that's a dude. It's a real man right there. He beat ass for real.
Tank evidence.
Only if it's the gimmick when he was with what was the boy band?
Oh,
ECW.
Oh God, I can't remember, but yeah.
Oh, where he's like their number one fan. I love it. Yeah, they should put him into that gimmick. That would be great. So we get this Lion Dens match, and it was a good match. 9 minutes, 6 seconds. You get some weapons in there. You get some hard hitting in there. Now, you said you couldn't see it from where you were sitting, so I assume you had to watch screens to get a good view of this.
Yeah.
So what was that like?
It was pretty terrible. I mean, because I recall sitting there and going, because the screens where we were all the way back on the Tron. And so even the screen was a long way away. And
yeah, I suppose.
So we couldn't it was very similar to the hardcore match in that you really couldn't see it good.
So for the hardcore match, now that you mention it, because this is also when they weren't using like the actual score, the center scoreboard,
right?
They weren't using those screens like they would now,
right?
And it was almost like, wasn't it like a fabric like sheet type they were using for the screens for those on the entryway?
Yeah. So
where I was sitting, I couldn't I was next to that.
Yeah. So you had a bad angle to see it at all.
We didn't get to see any of the crap on the that was on TV that we needed to see.
Yeah.
Which sucked for a couple of things. Mainly that match. Then Lion Den was fine though. Again, I was able to see the Lion's Den, but that was a cool match. I really did. And that's one of those matches that like someone like you and I could say, hey, we've seen a Lion Den's match because they didn't do many and they're not doing them anymore.
Nope.
And then the next match, which probably was one of my favorites of the night and entertainment wise. Tess against Shane McMahon in a Greenwich street fight that lasted 12 minutes and 4 seconds. The Mean Street Posse ringside in their little VIP lounge on their couch that they brought from home.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole story with this is Test is trying to marry Stephanie McMahon. So this is like right before the whole Triple H marriage. And
yep.
Like this is right before things really explode.
Yeah.
In WWE as far as like Triple H, Stephanie, China. And I'm talking like behind scenes, like, like get really crazy for them.
And Shane wants to prevent the whole thing.
And I would too. Test was an asshole.
He was a dick.
He looked like goofy as hell too. Like
he did.
He looked like an awkward Kevin Nash.
Yeah.
So we have them in this street fight. obviously the Mean Street Posse is getting involved, throwing weapons in left and right, whatever. We see an amazing coast to coast spot in this match from Shane McMahon. I believe he had the trash can up in Ted's face. Shane McMahon is still to this day good for one big spot at every pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Solid performer. He always puts himself on the line like that. And then
out of nowhere,
yes, the Stooges,
the return of the Stooges,
rescue Stephanie's lover. They take out the Mean Street Posse, Mr. Patterson and Papa Briscoe, and they were so comical during
it was so great
era. They really, like, I don't know if people realize how much Vince McMahon would have just came off like a dick, which is what his character was supposed to. But you can't just be a bad person. You got to have something to kind of bring that comic relief time when you're trying to put an entertaining show on. And that's exactly what Briscoe and Patterson were. They really humanized him, and they made him like, when you're like, he's so bad. Oh, but these are the guys he's got working for him. They're not the brightest guys. They played it so well. Yeah. That's the Mr. McMahon. They really, like, it's like how people don't give Piper his due sometimes.
Yeah.
How big everything was in Mania 1 and 2 and all that. That's kind of how those guys don't get their dues for how big the Austin McMahon feud really was.
Oh gosh, yeah,
a big part of it.
I was gonna say, this was probably my favorite match, and I would say probably their run-in that I had forgotten was probably my favorite part of the entire show.
Yeah, it was cool. I really enjoyed it. So that was a lot of fun. The Unholy Alliance. Some of the names from this era was just great. The Unholy Alliance, the Big Show and Undertaker, which, again, I sat above the entryway in the upper level, and even up there, I was like, dude, these guys are huge. Yeah. With Paul Bearer versus Kane and X-Pac during that awkward Kane and X-Pac friendship tag.
Mm-hmm.
The Unholy Alliance beats Kane and X-Pac, gets their titles. 12 minutes, 1 second. Again, is this right before or right after? I think this is right after the actual Ministry of Darkness. Have we gotten to that yet at this point? I feel like this is after.
Is it after or is it before? Or in the because didn't was it that Stephanie got kidnapped and Test saved her, or
one time, but like Austin saved her once too?
Yeah,
I don't remember. If you're watching, or when you're watching this, if you're not watching live, which you should be watching live every Tuesday 8 p.m. Central on YouTube, just drop us a line on Twitter or Facebook or something. Let us know. But yeah, anyways, that match happened. Good,
yeah,
that's big names right there. That's big names we got to see in '99. Big Show, Taker, Paul Bearer, Kane, X-Pac, all in the ring at the same time. X-Pac, hometown boy.
Mm-hmm.
So that's cool. Next was the Kiss My Ass match.
Now, this was another one where the pot shots that the King was taking at that poor fat woman that Mr. Ass brought down to the ring, just vile.
Yeah.
I mean, he could not do that today.
Oh, no, definitely.
Although some of them are funny. And actually, the things that Jim Ross said were funnier and not nearly as mean.
Right.
I mean, one of his was, holy cow, that one's got a backside 3 axe handles wide.
Dude, he did it like how Bobby Heenan would do it,
Yeah.
Remember when he had the triplets on his like night show and smell bacon? Oh, I'm sorry. They just got the lights on stage here. Like just
it was subtle
stuff like that. Like
the King was just blatant.
Yeah, he's just in your face, like boobs, butt, gross. Anyways, yeah. So Billy Gunn brings out obviously an obese, not that great of a looking human being, kind of gross looking. And I'm not saying like her actual looks, but like they made her look like she was probably pretty.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they play it up. So he has her under a like black sheet the whole
Tarp.
match, and it's like, I'm gonna make you kiss her butt, because again, it's a kiss my ass match. So the loser has to kiss the winner's ass.
Because you're the ass man.
Which, by the way, this was probably right at the last time we were gonna see Rock in something like this, because after this, it was just all main event for that.
Yeah.
Good match. I like the finish. I like how, because it was a Rock finish, you know, how he ends up kind of doing his moves into to where it just was all a fluid motion into how he eventually made Billy Gunn kiss this lady's butt.
Right.
Which was entertaining. And it's always entertaining. And again, this is right when The Rock was just becoming huge babyface. Like it hadn't gotten there yet, but it was like right here. Like it was happening.
Yeah.
So that was a cool thing. And then we get to the main event. And the other cool thing about the main event is, again, Jesse Ventura, the Minnesota governor, which I think he took some heat on this as well, as far as the actual political scene in Minnesota, because they're like, dude, you're our governor and you're about to go referee a wrestling match. But not any wrestling match. The main event, which was Mankind versus Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Triple H. Stone Cold coming in as the champ. Things were weird at this time.
Very weird.
This is right before Austin leaves for another knee surgery, I believe. So he's like on his way out. That's why he's losing the title at this show. And then things are just weird.
I was going to say also why you got Triple H beating the hell out of his knee after the match with a chair.
Right. And then
play into that leaving.
Right. And then this is also like right on again on the cusp of Triple H getting involved with the McMahons, marrying Stephanie, backstage real life
drama.
And then the whole like corporation.
Yep.
So again, a lot of big things happened prior to and after this show. So we get this match. Obviously, going into this match, no one thinks Mankind's going to win.
No.
He's just in it, and it's Mrs. Foley's baby boy. Not going to win.
There were a lot of chair shots in this.
Now, my question to you is, going back to Ventura, I was in like 10th grade, 11th grade when I went to this thing.
Yeah.
Obviously, politics was not at the top of my list of things I was paying attention to.
Right.
You were a little bit older than me at the time, so you were probably paying a bit more attention again. So real quick touch on like the heat that was going on, because I just remember people weren't happy in the state that he was doing this, but like maybe you can put a little bit more on like what the lashback really was.
So as I recall, he was elected governor in 1998. So this will have been not even quite a year that he's been governor. And he took all sorts of hell because, in essence, I think part of the reason that we got the pay-per-view here was because he was the governor. And he asked and possibly lobbied to have it here. And probably part of that deal was that he would be the referee. Now, to be fair, he had, as the governor, also been doing some cameos on a soap opera called The Young and the Restless, which was his favorite soap opera. And I think, as I recall, he probably did 5 or 6 of those little cameos in that. He was doing some acting. I don't know that he did any movies while he was governor. But yeah, very similar to our president now, in that people thought, what in the hell? How can this be? They were, first of all, aghast that he became the governor, because a lot of people were shocked. But basically, he was just cutting promos on the other two stiffs, and you know that's how he got in. But Yeah, they were like, how can you do this? This is below our dignity. This is our governor should be way more dignified than this. He didn't care. And this was kind of I would say representative of his 4 years. He didn't really care what anybody thought.
No, not at all.
And to the point he got tired of him about 3 years in, he just said, fine, I'm not talking to anybody anymore.
Right. Which is so funny because if you look at the times, like people are freaking out, he's going to be a referee, blah, blah, blah. And then now you look at it and you're like, hey, y'all realize our actual president not only is a WWE Hall of Famer, but gave Vince McMahon the worst looking slap ever at a WrestleMania before he was the president? Like, what the hell? Anyways.
Yeah.
So we have Jesse Ventura out there, special guest referee, huge pop. Mankind, obviously over. Stone, tell that to your old man. I don't remember what he said.
Yeah. Well, and the reason that Shane came out was because, well, first of all,
he kicked China out, didn't he?
He kicked China out. And this was, again, ridiculous commentary by the king. How could he do that? Nobody's ever thrown China out. Well, because she's cheating and interfering. How about that, dumbass?
Plus, he's the governor. He can kick her out of the state if he wants.
He can do whatever he wants. But then the real reason that Shane came down, as you recall, was that Triple H brought a chair in the ring and he clocked Austin in the knee on the outside and asked him, of course, and he did the old ask the audience, did he hit him with a chair? And of course, everybody said yes. And I think, as I recall, he also hit Mankind with an unprotected chair shot that he was well known for. And then when the time came for Triple H to cover him, Jesse refused to count because he said, that's not
wrestling. You hit that man with a chair. That's not wrestling.
And not only did he not count once, he did not count twice.
Nope.
And then Shane came out and got thrown out of the ring for his efforts.
Yep. And we eventually end up getting Mankind with the win. Did he do the mandible claw? I don't remember.
He did mandible claw on both of them. And somebody kicked him. I don't remember exactly. I think Austin was out of the ring, and I think he double arm DDT'd Triple H and got the pin.
Very exciting, though, to see Mankind win the title that he ends up losing the next night on Raw. What can you do?
Well, I gotta say, I totally forgot that he had won it.
Yeah, I remembered he did. What I really remember from this show at the time, it being live, but this is also because I wasn't watching Dirt Sheets at the time. I was just a wrestling guy watching it on TV. So I didn't know any of the stuff about Austin's injuries at this time. So I remember leaving the show that night being like, how did he lose? And why was he not that big of a deal in that main event?
Yeah.
Because he really didn't have that much of a presence.
He didn't.
You could tell now watching it back, it's like, okay, they definitely were getting ready to write him off for a while for his injury.
Yep.
And it was just, but not knowing that, and you're there live, huh? Weird. But man, that was a good match. I mean, just looking at that card and the names on that card, Jeff Jarrett, Mark Henry, D'Lo Brown, JBL, Farouk, Hardcore Holly, Al Snow, the Boss Man, again, Ivory, that's a legend in the women's world, Shamrock, Blackman.
And one thing we didn't mention was that that little promo battle between Jericho and Road Dogg.
Yeah. Which also we didn't mention that Road Dogg did live roving commentary for that whole hardcore match, and
that's right,
hilarious.
It was great.
Road Dogg is just awesome, though. He really is. He's a cool, he really does a good job. It's funny. He's maybe not the most talented in ring But I mean,
He
give that
knows.
guy a microphone and he's gold.
Well, and that's the thing. He knows this wrestling business inside and out. Of course, is he second generation, if not third, right?
Something like that. Yeah, I don't know. But I mean, it's just, I mean, the guy was just great. He was just always entertaining. But I don't know. What are we doing? 5 stars is how we rate him?
5 stars is how we do it. And I would say that watching it on television, I would say probably for this one, I would go 3.5.
Yeah, I would go probably 3.8. I'm gonna go 3.8, and really just because again, not all the matches were maybe that great, but just the talent on this card for this thing
Absolutely,
was stacked, man. It really was. So
it was.
we saw a lot of big names that night. Shit, dude, like China was there, dude. Like,
Yeah,
cool, man. Seeing China live, that's
and Stephanie and Shane,
yeah. Stephanie comes
and
out,
the Stooges,
and
and
man, it was
and all of those tag team guys.
Oh gosh, yeah, I wasn't even remembering the Hardys, Edge and Christian, Prince Albert, again Farouk Bradshaw, Hardcore Holly, Midian, whatever. He'll always be a Godwin to me. He'll always be a Godwin. Viscera, which I mean, Viscera's huge,
big Vis.
And again, draws Prince Albert. I mean, it's cool to see Prince Albert now, knowing that Matt Bloomfield is just like one of the biggest coaches, I mean, the people who owe him a lot, because of the Performance Center and NXT. So I mean, he's really helping mold but he's helping mold all the people that we're seeing become big stars now. So man, I'll give it a 3A, but that was a fun show, fun to relive those memories. We're gonna watch TLC 2017. Was that it?
Well,
whenever it was here last.
Whenever it was here last.
Yeah.
I think it was 2017. I'm not for sure.
Yeah. So,
we'll track it down.
That's kind of weird that it's literally it was either 2 or 3 years ago they were here for TLC and they're coming back already with TLC. So we're going to rewatch that. The big match on that one was going to be the Shield with a Kurt Angle fill-in.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Against Braun Strowman, Kane, and the Miz?
Maybe. Well, we'll see. We'll review it next week. We'll also review pay-per-view live.
Yeah.
We'll probably do a little bit of live business from the pay-per-view right here on this very channel. We won't be able to do it on all 4 channels simply because we will be on phones versus our regular gear. But if you're going to be at TLC this weekend, we invite you to track us down and say hello. If not, watch and watch with us next week as we review it. We'll also be reviewing the NWA Into the Fire because that's my special baby. I love that stuff. Other than that, anything else going on this weekend? You're going to go see Alexa Bliss at 7 o'clock on Saturday morning.
God, no, I don't know.
Come on, man, you're going to do it.
I really don't know if I'm going to go. That's just the other thing is I have no other business in the cities that day.
That makes it even easier for you to spend the time up there.
Wow, bro, I got a cruise and Christmas and gas money is not cheap nowadays to be making that trip.
Yeah, you're right.
So I don't know. I might go, I might not. It literally like Friday night is when I'm going to decide if I'm going to go.
Well, you'll fill us in about whether you take that adventure or not.
If I
next
go,
week.
Yeah, if I go, follow our Facebook and Twitter, and you'll see some posts from it or something. I'll try to make a little vlog about it.
Sounds good. As for me, I will be in Stevens Point at Rookie Sports Bar on Friday. I'll be at Benton Station in Sauk Rapids, Minnesota on Saturday. And then I will be at TLC at the Target Center on Sunday. Other than that, we appreciate you watching with us and joining us. We will be live again next week on Tuesday at 8 p.m. Central Time. And other than that, have a great week, Ace.
Yeah, you too. We'll see you Sunday.
Oh, my gosh. I can't wait. See you later, everybody.